Hello and welcome to Grace Tutorial. Good morning to all of my dear friends as well as my dear students. Welcome to today's lesson, and in this video lecture I will be explaining you about the different forms of power sharing. What are the different forms of power sharing? Let me give you a brief idea of the power sharing. I had already explained you in the first part of this session. In the first part of our video lecture, it has been explained that what do you mean by this power sharing. Whenever the power is shared among the different organs of the government, different levels of the government, in order to have the good and effective governance in that country, then that is what basically called a power sharing. That means the power sharing is very much essential to build the democracy at the grassroots level. What are the different forms of power sharing? Let us try to understand, because there may be a question in the examination for you. Explain the different forms of power sharing, and that is what I am going to explain here in this video. That is, the power can be shared among the different organs of the government. You know, my dear students, what are the different organs of the government? There are three different organs of the government. That is, legislature, executive, and judiciary. Yes, that means the power is shared between this legislature, executive, and judiciary. So, whenever we discuss about the forms of power sharing, the first point that you should say is that the power is shared among the different organs of the government. Different organs of the government in the sense that the power is shared between legislature and executive, the power is shared between executive and the judiciary, the power is shared among these three different organs of the government. And when there is the power shared between or among the different organs of the government, then that division of the power is basically called the horizontal division of power. Yes, I already explained you the horizontal division of the power in the first part of this chapter. What do you mean by this horizontal division of the power? When the division of the power takes place among the different organs of the government, then that is what basically called a horizontal division of the power. And in this part, you also need to mention one more term, that is the checks and balances. So what is this checks and balances system? Put a check on the exercise of the powers of the various organs of the government by maintaining a balance among the various institutions of the government. That system is basically called the check and balance system. It also can be explained under this category, that is the power can be shared among the different organs of the government. And in what other way that the power can be shared? Yes, the second one is that the power also can be shared among the different levels of the government. Well, whenever we talk about the levels of the government, we do think of the central government, the state government, as well as the rural local self-government. Yes, that means the power also can be shared in a country which is federal. Yes, federal system, the federal system chapter has been explained. That is the second chapter of the political science. Well, you can see the federalism which is being explained. In a federal country, that means in a federal country the power is shared among the different levels of the government. That means the central government shares the power to the state government or the regional government, or we can say the provincial governments. Well, so in order to strengthen the democracy, that the power can also be shared among the different levels of the government, that is the central, state, and rural local self-government. Yes, the power is shared among the central government, state government, as well as the rural local self-government. And the community government is the best example in the Belgium, which indicates that that is a federal nation. Yes. That means the community government in Belgium is the best arrangement of the power sharing. It indicates the quality of the federalism. So, whenever the power is shared among the different levels of the government, then that system in that government, the system in that government will be very much strong enough. Next, in what way the forms the power? And yes, one more thing we need to consider here. When the power is shared among the different organs of the government, then that is called the horizontal division of the power. Similarly, when the power is shared among the different levels of the government, then that is what basically called the vertical division of the power. Next, in what way the power also can be shared among the different social groups. Yes, the social groups like the linguistic groups or any regional communities. Yes, through this linguistic group as well as the regional communities also the power can be shared in order to strengthen the democracy. How? The community government is the best example for that, because this is the government in which the social groups are given the power to handle the affairs of that community, so that there will be a very good governance in that system. That is among the different social groups. So that means the power can also be shared among the different social groups. And one more point you need to remember: the power can also be the sharing of the power can be seen in the way of the political parties, the pressure groups, how the political parties, the pressure groups and movements influence those who are in power. Because there are some times in which there is no majority of the party. And when there is no majority in the party, then how the government is formed? That how the two or more political parties join together to form a government. The two or more political parties join together to prove their majority, to carry out the administration. And in this way, they share the power. Because the different political parties have the different ideologies. They have different thoughts. They have different opinions. In this way, the power sharing also can be seen in the way of the political parties, pressure groups, and the various movements who influence to those who are in power. This is what we have discussed from this part, the various forms of power sharing. Let me give you a glance one more time. That power can be shared among the different organs of the government, the legislature, executive, and judiciary. The power also can be shared among the different levels of the government, central government, state government, as well as the rural local self-government. The power also can be shared among the different social groups like linguistic, regional communities, and it also can be shared among in the way of the political parties, pressure groups, and the movements. This is how we have completed the chapter, the power sharing. I hope all of you have understood the chapter. And if you are having any query or if you are having any doubt in this chapter, please put the question in the comment section so that we will be able to answer your questions. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good time.